Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we have another audio upgrade episode. It's in one of my own personal cars, my 2004 registered BMW E46 M3 CSL. For those of you that don't know what a CSL is, just Google it. Now we are going to be changing the stereo, the speakers, and adding some bass. Let's get into it. Now, I've already upgraded the stereo in this car 3 years ago. And as you can see here, there is a new Kenwood DMX 5020 DABs, which is a 6.8 inch wired CarPlay, wired Android Auto stereo. Very good user interface. It's got Bluetooth streaming and so on. Everything you need, DAB and so on. Now, since then, obviously new tech, new products, and the big buzzword at the moment is wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. So we're going to be changing the stereo that I've got here. For those of you that want to see the stereo installation, there's a link on the screen now, and there's also a link in the description below that explains what you need to buy from BMW, because you need to buy a heater relocation kit, there's a cage, there's accessories and so on. So I'm not going to go into that now. So let me show you how the stereo works. So wired CarPlay means, as we all know, you have to have a cable. So you get into the car, plug your phone in. That doesn't sound too bad. There's no bass at the moment, but the top end clarity is totally missing. Okay, now the bass is kicked in, but it's hardly bass. It's more mid bass. So this OEM system is lacking any depth and any top end. If I'd played this off the OEM stereo, I wouldn't even get that quality of music. The Kenwood stereo is bringing that additional depth to the stock speakers. Now we're going to change the stereo, the front speakers, the rear speakers, and add some bass. So let me show you all the components that are going in the CSL. So we're upgrading everything to Audison bar the stereo. Front speakers are in the doors, so you've got the 6.5 inch mid-range and the tweeter. We're going with an Audison upgrade. In the back, we're going to upgrade the speakers to a set of Audison APX 6.5. That's a two-way coaxial speaker, so the tweeter's built in. We're going to use an Audison 5-channel amplifier. That amplifier will power the fronts, the rears, and the sub. There's also a bass controller just to turn the bass up and down, depending on the type of music you're listening to. There's a fairly shallow mount Audison box that we're using, but it gives a lot of bass, more than enough for me. I'm not a bass head anymore, but I do like my bass. I listen to a lot of R&B, a lot of hip hop. So depending on your genre of music, if you're a bass head, you may want to go slightly bigger. I'm using a 10-inch compact box. And then we've got Audison wiring, including a 6-channel RCA. Now, the stereo that I've shown you is a fantastic stereo, and that stereo is still available today. It's probably our most popular stereo because the price point, it hits £300. But we're now upgrading it to one of the latest Kenwood stereos. It's middle of the range, it's not their flagship. It's the DMX 8021 DABs. This gives you wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. So it means that when I jump in the car, within 20 seconds or so after turning the car on, my phone will be connected, my Waze will be working, and my Spotify will be linked directly to the stereo. Slightly bigger screen, it's a 7-inch screen, better GUI, graphic user interface, and so on. Now, I'm gonna leave the equipment and the car in the hands of the techs, that's Jay and Steve. They'll crack on with the installation. I'll come back maybe halfway through the installation, show you some of the products that have come out, and then I'll be back at the end, show you everything, and give a sound test, and explain to you why I've upgraded the stereo in my CSL, which some of you are probably already wondering why. See you shortly, guys. Okay guys, halfway update. That's halfway through the installation. So the car's stripped more or less, and I'm going to show you the speakers that have been removed and the new speakers that are going in. But before I get into that, the stereo. So this is the Kenwood stereo that's coming out. The DMX 5020 DABs, shallow mount. Obviously I won't go into the installation of that because I mentioned that earlier on. The new stereo, the 8021 DABs, again Kenwood, slightly deeper but still shallow mount, so it's not full depth. No issues in installing that. Weight wise about the same. The rear speakers, now I was right. These are dual cone basic speakers, paper cone, probably cost to make $1. We are replacing them with Audison 6.5-inch Primas, which are two-way. So you've got a tweeter in the middle and a lovely chunky magnet. So these are going to sound significantly better. In the front, we've got the components. So again, a paper cone OEM speaker with a little separate tweeter, and we are replacing them with the Audison Prima two-way component kit. Again, nice chunky magnet. These will sound so much better, and the replacement tweeter. Now in terms of weight, yes, I know some of you are going to say I'm adding weight to a CSL. I am, yes, but I'm not really ever going to track this car. In terms of weight, we are literally talking grams. From that to that, and that to that, it literally is grams. The increase in weight will be more around the amplifier and the subwoofer box, because the amp is here. We'll throw up all the specs of the amp on the screen now, including the weight. And also the subwoofer box, we'll throw up all the weights and the dimensions of that now on the screen. We're going to add a little bit of sound deadening. So we're using the Skins sound deadening just to improve the quality of the sound from the front door, to reduce any vibration or any rattling. We don't want to go excessive because obviously I don't want to go crazy with the additional weight. So all the links for the products are in the description below. Steve's already stripped the front door cards, and Jay's working on the back, running all the speaker cables and power cable and so on for the amplifier. I'll be back shortly once the installation's done, and we'll do a sound check. See you in a bit. Right, the installation is now complete. Before we have a listen, the boot is open, so let me show you the sub box, which, as you can see, isn't that big. It is on a quick release connector, so if you are taking your M3 or your M3 CSL on a track day and you want to drive a little bit over the speed limit, which you can do on a track day, you can remove that sub box and note that it's not going to fly around in the boot. I'm talking about flying around. This actually won't fly around because it's got Velcro on the feet, so it is fairly solid, as you can see there. The quick release connectors on the far side there. As you've seen, the amplifier is hidden underneath where the tray would normally sit, and we've made a cover in the similar finish to the original tray. So that's nice and neat, tucked away. Now, let's have a listen. Right, let's turn the ignition on. I've already, just a few seconds ago, paired my phone to the new Kenwood stereo, and that is the 8021 DAB, which is a slightly bigger screen and has the wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So that's all set up. Phone is in my hand. It should pick up CarPlay more or less now, any second now. There you go. So there we have it. So fully intuitive without any wires. 21st century tech. So before we talk about money, I'm super excited, I'm sure you are as well, to have a listen. So I'm going to play the same track that I played earlier on, which is YouTube friendly. The bass controller for the amplifier is in this little cubby hole. So I'm going to listen to it the way Blade has left it all set up. He's tweaked the amplifier and tuned it. I'm going to use the same track that we used earlier on. Oh, wow. Oh my God. And the bass hasn't even kicked in yet. So the bass is about to kick in. Damn! Wow. Okay, look. Let's bring it back down and let's turn the bass off. Let's listen to it flat, but obviously with the new speakers. This would give me an idea of the improvement in terms of just the cabin area without the bass. So let's go again. Same volume, which was 20. Right, massive difference. Sharp, clear, I can hear the treble. Very dynamic. Obviously, I wish I could use something which we've probably all heard, so, you know, make it like, maybe like Michael Jackson or something, but YouTube will give us a strike and this video will be deleted. But I can tell you now the difference between this setup and the OEM setup is night and day. Now, I'll start introducing the bass using the bass controller. Wow. Wow. Blown away, but I knew I would be because we are using really good quality equipment. Now, some of you will argue that actually you don't need to have any music playing when you've got a CSL because you've got that carbon intake. Well, that's great when you're driving around on B roads, but sometimes to get to a nice B road, especially in the UK, you've got to use the motorways and you don't really want to be listening to a droney engine note or an exhaust note. That's when you can use this system. So some of you I know will call me out in the comments. It's a CSL. The whole point is, you know, less weight, better for driving, better for road use, better for track use. But it is my car and I do like listening to music. And the most important thing here, everything is reversible. We've cut nothing up and you would never know. I've kept all the stock components and they can go back, including the original stereo. Right, so a sharp improvement over the Kenwood stereo that we had in there previously. Now obviously I've got wireless CarPlay and so on. But the bass has really enhanced that full range, that spectrum of audio, low frequency, mid-range and top end. I've got it all. Let's now talk money. So starting off with the front components, the Audison component kit, that's £230. The rear coaxial speakers are £130. The amplifier, the Audison amplifier, that's £500. It's £30 for that little bass controller and that's a must. The compact Audison 10-inch passive box, as you see there, is £380. Then obviously we've got the power cable, we've got RCA cables, we've got speaker adapters for the front doors and the rear shelf, and we've used a little bit of the skin sound deadening. That is around £275. If there's two engineers, it's done in a day. If it's one engineer, then it'll be a day and a bit. So all in all, you're looking at £2,100 for all the equipment, all the accessories supplied and fitted. As I said earlier, the links for all the items we have used are in the description below, as well as all the links for the previous YouTube videos. So I've been waiting for about 3 years for a slot in the workshop, in our own workshop, purely because obviously paying customers come first. There's quite a few of you that I know very well on our CSL WhatsApp group, including Mike Rainbird, who has been chasing me every month for an audio upgrade. Well, the video is done now. So Mike, I'll expect your order in the morning. You know my email address. Guys, thanks for watching. As I said earlier, everything that we've installed is covered down below in the description. There are separate links. If you want to call me out, as I said earlier, for upgrading the audio in my CSL, please do. But I've only added, I don't know, a few kilograms of weight. and that's for the amplifier and the sub box, and the sub box is fully removable, as I mentioned earlier on. Most importantly, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. There's lots of great content that we've shown recently, and there's a lot more to come, be it audio, be it cars, be it shows. There's a lot of content on the CAS YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back on the channel pretty soon. See you later.